Let me bring in Ryan Cedergren, who was in the student union when all of this unfolded. First of all, Ryan, how are you? Are you okay?
I am okay, thank you.
Tell me about what happened.
Yeah, so I was in the bowling alley, which is in the lowest level of the student union. And next door to us is a bar. And the bar is open to the entire union. Like there's no doors or anything. The bowling alley has doors. And so all of a sudden we see everyone from the bar start running. And um and then in that moment we're just like confused, we're unsure of what's going on. And so we just decided it was best to go seek shelter. First, we went to a spot that still had glass and where we could see the door. And then we're like, we probably need to move. Once we saw the police in the lowest level, that was when we decided to move to a better, more secure area.
Did you at any point hear shooting? When did you realize that this was the situation that we now know it was?
I did not hear any shots at all. And it was probably within a minute that we realized what was going on. Unfortunately, I've grown up in this era to where school shootings and campus shootings are not commonplace, but we've practiced for it, we've trained for it, we know what's going on, and that was where it went. That was just kind of our first instinct. And in this era, news travels so quickly and rumors travel so quickly that, within minutes, we all kind of had an idea of what was going on upstairs.
So you talk about the fact that you moved first to an area that had glass, then you saw police, you moved into a more secure location. At what point then did you move to where you are now, or are you still in that secure location?
Yeah, so we waited. It was probably about 10 minutes until FSC police came and got us. And once they came and got us, they escorted us out of the building to a green space around the union. And that was where I saw some people getting EMS attention. There was, police everywhere, fire everywhere, medical response everywhere. And then from there, they kind of held us, make sure everyone was okay, and then found us, go this way out of campus and stay off campus. And I took like the longest route back to my apartment.
You sound very calm. You talk about the fact that you have had training, but did you feel calm in responding to what you say had become instinct, having been trained for a situation like this? And the obvious question, Ryan, did you ever think, in spite of all that training, this would ever happen to you?
You know, I was calm. I feel like there were people that were, sheltering with us that were, hyperventilating, having panic attacks, stressing out. And I was just kind of like, I have trust in the police department. I know they trained for it. I know, if it came to it, we would fight if we had to. But being in a center part of campus, I knew police was going to be on scene very, very quickly. And so, I just, kind of said a quick prayer and then, just tried to stay as calm as possible. And then, I'm sorry, what was the other question towards the end?
Well, I just wondered at that moment, the instinct that sort of, kicked in, if maybe that was part of your feeling calm. You felt you knew what you had to do?
Yeah, I think that was definitely part of it. Is I knew what I had to do. I knew how to protect myself, and I knew how to, what I'd have to do if it ever came to it. But
When
I
you
think
say
the other
came to
part
it,
of
if you
it,
came face to face with a shooter?
I mean, I just have had a lot of trust that the police was gonna be on scene so quickly, and so I went as quick as possible to hide. And then I talked about I tried to be calm in the room because I'm someone that is going to be going into news eventually as a career, and I'm like, there's rumors flying all over social media about what's going on, and it's like, okay, so let's know what we know and know that we need to be safe, and just know that we're gonna all huddle in together. There were about 40 of us, and we'll be safe.
You mentioned earlier about how quickly news and, in fact, also rumors travel. How quickly were you able to get in touch with your family, your friends, make sure everyone's safe, and allow your people who care about you to know that you were safe?
Yeah, it was within minutes. It was, within minutes, my phone is still blowing up. Everyone is, texting, calling, but, like you said, there have been rumors all over the internet about what's going on. And it's like, I'm just going off what the university says, what news sources say, and, go from there because, in college, the rumor mill seems to fly a lot. And, just know what we know. And, I'm so grateful to FSU PD, Tallahassee Police, all the first responders and everyone that, came and, protected us in the moment we needed it.
So let me ask you, given that you are going into the news business as a career, I'm particularly interested when you got out into what you called that green space, and you said you saw EMS tending to people, you saw fire, you saw police. Observationally, what struck you? Are there any details that you can share with us about what you saw?
Yeah, it was about 15 minutes after the first initial, maybe 10, 15 minutes. It really didn't feel that long of a time. And once we got outside, we were escorted out by police, and we were just like, okay, we're going, it was, we got outside, there was helicopters circling, there was police everywhere, fire everywhere, and then there was one person, I saw at least one person being attended to by EMS.
If there was one thing you think that you want people to know about what you saw, what you felt, what your friends and other folks who were with you experienced, what would you want them to know? So many people, unfortunately, thousands of students across the country at every level, elementary, high school, college, have been through what you are going through. What would you tell them?
It's that the drills that you do that seem pointless are not pointless. In that moment, my survival instincts kicked in, and my knowledge of the drills kicked in, and we knew we had to hide and make ourselves almost disappear, and then it's also my thankfulness to the police and to the fire, and they do such a great job. They go in prepared to give their lives for our lives.
An important series of points. Ryan Cedergren, I'm glad you're okay. We're all glad to see that you're okay. And we do thank you for sharing your story with us.